see. Hello, hello, everybody. Just getting settled in here. I'm gonna set up my dual screen so that we have a little bit of ease of flow and action here to create some more organization. I'm gonna change my music. I made these like 20-minute productivity timers for each of the 5 energy types in human design. And I've been using all 5 of them for myself as I like go throughout my day just to keep myself more organized and streamlined. But I want to open Spotify so that I can have some nice, fun, tranquil, peaceful music. Everyone, how is everybody feeling today? Hi, Mark. Welcome. Hi, 444. We're going to get started in a little bit here. Hi, Shadow Witch. Nice to see you. How are things? Aw. I want to say, like, how are your fur babies? Because I know you have a few animals, too. Maybe a little bit of an intuitive nudge. As I'm chatting here, I'm just getting my Spotify set up. Let me see what one I want to play. I think I'll play the same playlist I had yesterday because it was very vibey and peaceful, a little jazzy. So yeah, thank you so much. It's so nice to see you. So nice to see you. How have things been going? So Mars is in Leo. So I don't know where Leo is in your chart, but a lot of people that I met with today, I had like a couple people that were like, 911, help me, like what's happening? I need like an extra set of hands, like energetically on things that I'm going through. So everyone's kind of like feeling it. I feel like even I said yesterday during Kelly's live of She-Wolf Tarot, she's like, how are you? And I was like, kind of feels like a loaded question, right? Hi, Amanda, welcome. I'm gonna untwist my charging cord here. I also don't know how many of you have Pisces placements in your chart, but it's funny because we have a tendency, like part of the oversharing is like the explaining and narrating everything that I'm doing, which is also very 1-3. I don't know if anyone has a 1-3 profile here, but very 1-3 as well for us to be like, and this is what I'm doing, and this is why I'm doing it this way, and here's how you can learn too. Like we're really into that, the teacherly energy for sure. I'm gonna light my little candles for some ambiance as well. Always gotta create the vibes as a Taurus 4th house person, but my name is Brenna, officially introducing myself. I'm a human design reader and astrologer of 9 years, and I've been on Human Design Hotline now, created my Human Design Hotline 2 years ago, which is so crazy. The official ideas of it is I've been going live for about 1.5 years on TikTok now. And we talk about all things human design and astrology and the overlap. Of course, you know that for those of you who've been here before, link is in my bio. This is the last night that I'm doing my readings at $12 for 10 minutes. If I'm on tomorrow or the next Thursday that I'm on, they're going to go back up to their original price of $22. So if you would like to capitalize on that in the 90 minutes that I'm going to be on, the 1.5 hours that I'm on today, please feel free to do that. The link is in my bio for any questions that you have just to facilitate. Hi, Noelle. So we can facilitate some happiness, some healing for yourself, how you guys can feel supported. A lot of my people have not been feeling very supported right now. That's a kind of a collective thing. And Noelle, it's like perfect timing for what we were talking about. Hi, Sasha. Hi, Jen. Welcome. I love instigator Jen. I love a good instigator. Do you have Aries placements? That would be funny. But if you guys want to drop your big 3 in astrology or your big 3 in human design, which would be your profile type, authority, and your energy type, please feel free to do that too. As I use my chapstick here. Not sponsored by Carmex, but I use it all the time. My little rituals. But yeah, I had somebody that reached out to me today just to kind of explain like what's been going on in, you know, as a practitioner, as someone who comes on here, a lot of what I like to do is kind of start off with like the energetic read of like reading the energetic room. Hi, Anna. Like what's happening, what's going on, why are you feeling this way, what's the point, what's the purpose, Anna and I have had this conversation as well recently. And happy Thursday. Happy Beltane for those of you who are celebrating my Celtic roots, honoring that fire. I'm lighting my fire behind me a little bit as I'm on here with you guys. A lot of people have been feeling unappreciated. Hi, Lex, welcome. I love those, my beautiful rose emojis. I love so much. But a lot of my people have been feeling unappreciated. And so what I've been talking about for the 3 readings that I had today is where in your life, focusing on where in your life you feel like you're being slept on. Welcome. Where is it that you feel like people aren't hearing you? Thank you, Kat. And then where do you feel like you play a role in not allowing yourself to be heard? And I know that can be like, well, I do everything I can. Like, I'm the best version of myself that I've ever been. I'm doing the work. I'm willing to put in the effort. Hi, Sony. Yeah, right? I know. And listen, anything that I ask you guys and pose the question, believe you me, I have asked myself that many times, because as a Pisces, it's so easy for me, and happy birthday season, Shadow Witch. It's so easy for me to give and not realize, hi, Alexis, where I've hi, Arizona, nice to see you again, beautiful projector. Hello. Not realize that, oh, I went too far, especially my Libra placements. I had that question with the Libra moon today. Hi, Jules. But really, it's a nicer way to say, and a kinder way to say, like, where do we play a role in our own suffering? Like, I've given. Hi, Trick, how are you? Thank you for subscribing to my Substack, by the way. I meant to send you a message yesterday. My dad's been in the hospital. Jules and I are cousins, by the way. Our dads are brothers. Yes, my reading list is open. Thank you. Thank you so much. My reading list is open. So if you guys, this is the last day that I have my reading set for $12. They're going to go back up to their original price of $22 tomorrow if I'm on tomorrow, or next week. So if you want to capitalize on the $10 off, please do so. And that's just as a little housekeeping disclaimer. The link to that's in my bio. Any question, anything you guys want to workshop anywhere. I was literally thank you so much. Yeah, my dad was in the hospital, got released on Monday. We've been figuring out like care for him. Thank you, Kourtney. I just saw you booked. So I'll bring up your chart. And I'm ending my Saturn return. So for those of you who already know, Saturn rules the dad. So isn't it crazy that like right on the nose, right? Like he's okay. He's nothing fully, like life-threatening, but it's like sometimes with the transits, like you just can't make it up. You can't make it up. Thank you so much, Anna. I appreciate that. Oh, Arizona, thank you. Yeah, listen, I will say this as Alex, being somebody that's an Aries Saturn like you are, and Kourtney, again, just letting you know that I see you and I'm bringing up your info as we're chatting. That it's just like Saturn gives you all the lessons to figure out what you're going to be disciplined about. So like, even though, with everything and happy birthday, happy early birthday. This is so nice. This is a little birthday treat for yourself. Tomorrow is Kourtney's birthday. So if everyone could give her a birthday shout out, that would be nice. Your Saturn return is as challenging as you want to make it. It's like when you get an unexpected bill, you can either figure out how you're going to make the money, spend the money. You can call the company and say, I'm going to pay half now, half later. Or you can put it in a drawer and forget about it and ignore it. That's the same thing with your Saturn return. It is what you make of it. Either it's like head on, we confront it, we're acknowledging it, we say, okay, hello, how are you? May, help me out here. I remember it, but I'm forgetting it. Mégane? Phonetically, I think I'm remembering. Thank you so much. Hi, King, welcome. But before I keep yapping, I don't want to take up too much of the time of beautiful Kourtney, who has paid for her reading in front of me. Thank you. Okay, awesome. I'm going to flip my screen so you can see beautiful Kourtney's chart for what I'm looking at her chart here. There we go. And then I'm just going to approve those comments. So Kourtney, it's her beautiful birthday eve. Happy birthday again, Kourtney. So just speak on anything that jumps out to you. A couple things. So somewhere that you're going to feel like you're kind of tested right now. And we just had a beautiful new moon on Sunday in your sun sign. You're somebody who's incredibly analytical. Yeah, of course. I love to remember my people, especially that I read for. My Scorpio helps with that. But you're somebody, Kourtney, who is being focused, again, incredibly analytical, but is focusing on emotional regulation at this time, especially with your Saturn return activity. So what I'm looking at automatically, and like I read logically through the charts, but I just look and sometimes I'm just pulled in a certain direction for what I'm looking at. And it was this emotional wave right here that connects Gemini gate 12 with Pisces gate 22. And this is something that during Gemini and Pisces season, you're always going to feel a little bit more activated, Kourtney. But for you specifically, it's teaching you how to proceed with caution. Anyone that has gate 12 in the throat center, gate 12 is always going to be here. Gate 12, the gate of caution, is like picking and choosing your battles for when you speak to people. Now, you have, it looks like to me from what I can see here from your human design body graph, this isn't your natal chart, so I can't see the degree. You either have like a 29 degree Libra moon or like a very early degree Scorpio moon. I think it's very early degree Scorpio. I'm also a Scorpio moon. But for that placement specifically, it's gate 50 in human design. Incorporating that energy with gate 22, gate of grace and charm is okay. Perfect. Yes. Scorpio moon. Okay. Yes. So you're basically learning how to enact on your Scorpio moon. That passion is great. That more passion, more fire, more energy. Hi, Diana. That's really good for you. But figuring out how to add in some more charming aspects and like getting more bees with honey is really something that's going to help you to smooth over any conflict that may be coming up for you during this time. I keep saying this to everybody who will listen because it's so true. So many people are walking around like raw nerves right now, and that is not anyone's fault, right? Like you don't have to feel like you have to be responsible for helping other people all the time and creating balance and harmony in them. I'm probably channeling for more than just you as I say that, because I think everyone here can probably relate to that in some way, shape, or form. But your actions should speak louder, not only than your words, but the words of anybody else that may be trying to wrong you right now. And that's not to say that like there's somebody like if you can't think of somebody in your life where it's like, who would even wrong me or like who would say anything bad? It's like your actions and the actions of how you choose to show up for yourself are always so much more important because you have these elements of grace and charm. And gate 36 Pisces, that's like teaching you, what are the crises that I can be of support to other people? How do I want to help people? But how can I help people, hey Josh, without overly extending myself, right? Especially just such a beautiful time to focus on you tomorrow. Like, don't get hung up on like the friends or the family that can or cannot be there for you, who you wish that you had there, who you wish that would show up for you in a better way this weekend. Like focusing on ways that you can just support yourself no matter what and do what you want to do, and anyone else that's able to join you is an added bonus. That's something that's going to help that Scorpio moon energy so much. And your gate 36 and your gate 22. A lot of your placements can lean towards like just being like unconditionally loving, but you can hit that wall where like once people keep coming to you with a problem, they keep venting to you, but you don't feel like you can do so in return. That's when we can get into like mucky kind of people-pleasing territory, right? You're a Taurus Mercury, so automatically, like what you say, you're going to be strong in your convictions, and that it depends on how you nature and nurture that placement. Like I always see that in somebody's chart, gate 8 in Mercury specifically, and I'm like, okay, if they were in an environment where they were able to support themselves, or you had enough oomph or like energy to be able to stand your ground, then you nurtured that side of you. But we also have Taurean placements where once they can be strong in their convictions, hey Deanna, but maybe they don't feel strong enough to speak on their own behalf or stick up for themselves because their environment wasn't conducive for that, or it was like just frankly unsafe for you to do so. So that's where it's kind of like with that placement, what wolf do you feed? However, because you have a defined splenic center, not splenic authority, but splenic center, through the 5734 line. I'm looking at gate 44 here. I also have this placement, and this is where you hold on to the fear of the past repeating itself, not because like you always want to be like on high alert or you're nervous about like who's coming at you from what direction or anything along those lines, but because like if something's happened before in the past, you know how to sniff out the same energy in the future, right? So because you have so much Taurus, or like Taurus is obviously your sun sign, and paying attention to that, you really want to focus on, well, Venus is the ruling sign. Hi, Megan. The ruling sign of Taurus. Focusing on what are my values? What do I value during this next year of my life? Your birthday is a beautiful time, your solar return as it's called, because the sun is returning to the place that it was in on the day you were born in 1996. You're also in, or just finish your nodal opposition and going into Saturn return, dealing with Saturn return energy at the same time. So 28 to 31, you're literally a different person. But when you do like a values exercise where you focus and just kind of have like a time to journal and process and chat with people that are aligned, you know, but some solo time to just reflect on like what you really want to call in for this year ahead. It's a beautiful way to honor your birthday and just be like, well, what's my North Star as Kourtney for what feels good for me, like how I feel like I want to be of service. You have some qualities here that can lean towards like working as a therapist or somebody that does use your voice, but more so like you listen, like there's a saying that's like God gave us two ears and one mouth for a reason. It's like sometimes you can lead people, but like if you listen to people more so, you can pick up on exactly what you need to say to be able to help them in fewer words than they have spoken. So if they don't like speak to you, like using the therapist analogy, if they speak to you and they're like they're channeling, if you will, or they're dumping, you know, like sharing the word vomit, whatever, what have you, and you really are listening intently to read between the lines, you're nurturing your gate 13, which is right here in your G center. I'm also looking at your gate 7 that sits up here in your incarnation cross, to learn how you want to guide people. This channel and what you're growing into over time in human design is known as the channel of the alpha. I get quite a few people that have this because it's two Leo placements that connect. Although you won't see this reflected in your traditional natal chart, it's an aspect of a human design body graph that gives us this energy for you. It's learning how you want to be of influence and how you want to lead your people in a way that feels most rational to you. I will say this. There are certain things that are healthy for you to be obsessed or obsessive over, but you have to know where that thin line is for you as Kourtney, where like obsessive versus like on top of your shit and your game are like two very different things. So like as somebody anyone who has a lot of like fixed signs or fixed energy or fixed sun sign, I always say like, yeah, this is your time to focus on you, and to prioritize like whatever it is that you need to be doing. You're feeling very activated right now. Anna and I were just talking about this with, we have Scorpio, Lilith in Scorpio, the sun in Taurus, Leo, Mars, and I'm forgetting one. I'm forgetting one of them. A Pluto and Aquarius right now. So that's creating a square between all of those placements, or squares between all of those placements where they're fixed cross. Thank you. What did I say? Grand cross? I almost said right cross, like thinking of the incarnation crosses earlier. Thank you. Fixed cross. Yeah, that makes it, yes. But that's creating some activation where it's like people are pushing, but where do you need to shove back a little bit? Knowing that it's okay for you as Kourtney for this year to focus on whatever you want to focus on, but make sure that you're not over explaining yourself to people who are committed to misunderstanding you. If people are steadfast on proving you wrong versus trying to connect with you and see your side, and it's like you two against the problem versus that person attacking you or feeling like just attacked energetically, even if there's not actually words being spoken. Like you have gate 57 and the 5734 channel, like you are intuitive, like you know when people, even if you don't know, it's like you're the person in the friend group who can go to your friend's boyfriend's following list on Instagram, and it's like the girl that you think that he's cheating on her with just happens to shine through, and there's like no reason other than just like you just knew. You're like, I don't know, I just know. Like that's just who it is. Like that's how your energy is. So it's someone that in your ether feels like that. Oh yeah, I just had this discussion today about people being hell-bent on misunderstanding me. Yeah, and it's like, this is your time. I'm just gonna pivot my screen here in our last minute together. This is the time to like really use your discernment. about like from the level of your reputation, because it's really good, especially as a Tauran person, to be concerned about your reputation. Detective energy, yes. Being concerned about like, hi Kay, who is like, what's happening here? If somebody is committed to misunderstanding you, right? Are they going around and bad-mouthing you to other people? I literally just had this happen to me, and someone had ended up sharing with me, and I was like, that's so disappointing, because like it didn't have to be that way, right? And that's how you think, because a lot of us, it's similar to the post I made today, a lot of my people that find me, we lead with expecting good things first versus being on the defensive. And that's like, no matter how many fixed sign placements you have, the sum of all of your parts leans more towards that. So it's shocking and it's surprising where you're like, wow, like that person really pulled a fast one on me, even though they're under the guise of spirituality. And hi, Darian. Oh, it's nice to see you. Yes, it's working. You got it. Yay. I'm so glad you're here. But yeah, so when it comes to the point where if it's like affecting your business, because I had this with a client today that booked like a last minute session with me that was like, are you free today? Like I need to talk about this thing. She's also a Pisces, but has some fixed sign energy like you. And she was like, this person has been going around bad-mouthing her reputation and talking to other clients that had, they work in the creative industry. So they're designers, so like web designers, graphic design. And she had started with this one person and then left and moved on to my client. Or she had started with my client first, went to this person, then went back to my client because my client was dealing with depression. So that being said, the other person that her client had left to and then came back was bad-mouthing her around town to everybody. And it was like blocking her, then unblocking her to message her, end up getting her number and texted her, like super inappropriate, especially when it came to business. And I was like, listen, this person is making, you don't have to make them look bad. They're doing that all on their own. What I started with this live today saying, and what I'll say again that I said to her, usually every day I'll talk to people and like the same message I like end up channeling for everybody is that, your actions have to be louder than their words, and how you are calm, cool, and collected, how you show up, how you're connecting to your people those are the people that you're going to want to align with anyway. Anyway that sees that person, hears her story, and sees what's happening. Hi, Harper. It's good to see you. I remember about a year ago when you were with Mom and you were eating your strawberry ice cream. We were talking about how that was your favorite. I remember that still. I hope you can get some strawberry ice cream soon. For both of you. But for her sake, right, I was like, your actions, and that's true for everybody, your actions, Kourtney, yes, I'm so glad, enjoy it. Your actions have to be louder than their words, and it's like the people that are worth, if it ends up affecting your business, like cease and desist. Like I'm not afraid of like sending that if I have to, if someone was really going around and like affecting my business financially when I know that I'm a good person, and it got to that point, right? But like, usually people burn themselves out and they don't have the wherewithal for that to ever get to be the case. But it's like, again, really understanding, like, is anyone that is worth me having around gonna look at this person that's misunderstanding me, that's misconstruing my words? Is that really even somebody that's looking for resolution? Do they want to see common ground? Like, make it make sense to me of like where the logic is of where I may have offended you. Like then we can do something with that if we have a civil conversation. But there's a lot of people that like, it's a very specific thin line in circumstances of like where really understanding where is somebody that really wants conflict resolution. And a lot of people right now, especially this week, really just seem to be wanting conflict. Conflict, no resolution. Like the end of what I had said with my client this afternoon was like, if the only way that this person is clearly going to be happy is if you gave up your goals and dreams and say, okay, I'm not going to be a designer anymore, which we know isn't going to happen. So when you inevitably come into contact with this person again, because they live in a smaller town, a lot of overlap, what is your script or something that you feel you can comfortably say? How do you feel like you can protect yourself energetically if you even see this person again, right? Because there's like a theory that something that's under that vein of thought that's like once you're done with a lesson with somebody, no matter even if you live in the same town, you could live next door to each other, you just end up never seeing them again. I don't know if you guys know what I'm referencing, but there's a theory about that. And so And that's happened to me too, where it's like I had, you know, a falling out with somebody, or we agreed to disagree and move on, and I never saw them again. Yeah, Megan, exactly. I know. It's like, okay, that was it. They were in my life for a reason and a season. And so I really harp on that, and thank you, Kourtney, for letting me use the end of your reading, hi social, as a segue to really hold space for that. I'll also say, Kourtney, that this live is recorded, and I do put it on YouTube. So if you go to the May 1st, 2025 readings for TikTok, you'll see it there, so you can listen back to this again and again. It's easier for me to just post it that way than clipping it all, and with time I don't have to, to post it again on TikTok. So that way it's like a happy medium for my people who wanted the recordings of their session. Yeah, happy Beltane, happy early birthday, and let me know if that struck any other questions for any of you. I had said before, I see Arizona. I will pull up your chart now. Thank you so much. This is the last day that my readings are going to be $12, and then they're going to go back up to their regular $22. So if you want to capitalize, there's 12 people here now. Just know that that's available. I'll be on for about another hour. So if you want to grab any of the last 5 slots that I should have at this point, just for some housekeeping. So let me pull up Arizona. I pull up your chart. And Beltane is a celebration of the land, giving back to the land, fertility, the peak of spring before we transition into summer. So doing something with fire energy, lighting candles, red rose. Actually, on Instagram, there's a business that I connect with out in Pennsylvania, and they posted a really good carousel about it today, so that's shared on my story if you guys are interested in capitalizing on the energy. Or Highly Mystical is the name of the boutique, which is very cute. Yeah. How do I set it up here? So do you mean for your account specifically, or for like looking at the flow? So looking for the flow to ask the second question. And thank you, Kay, for liking and sharing the live, and for all of you that are doing so. If you go to my page, Darian, so if you click on my name, I think it's going to be on the top left-hand side of your screen, it'll bring you to my profile. And then there's a link there that says like Brenna Keeley /links. And then you can click on the TikTok live reading sign up. So yeah, do you do solar return with human design chart reading? Yeah, okay, perfect. Thank you. Yes, I will start in 1 minute so that let me generate the chart. So it goes, it'd be helpful if I added in the minutes to your birth time. Yeah, absolutely. And if you have questions about that, when we're on YouTube next Wednesday, Darian, that can also be a helpful time for me to walk you through if you needed help, how to set it up for your account, in the future, if that's of interest to you. So I'll say that. But yeah, you can do a transit chart or a solar return chart for human design. So if you wanted me to look up the city that you're in now, if you're not in your place of birth, but to look up the energy of the day, you can always do same type of chart readings in astrology. You can also do for human design. So that being said, without further ado, I'm going to pivot over into Arizona now and flip my screen here. So this is beautiful projector Arizona's chart. Born 3 months early. I was struggling with mapping it. Oh yeah. So with human design or solar returns or anything like that, how I was always taught and what I always felt right and resonated in my soul was that you're born when you're born on the day that you're born. Obviously, you're like, wow, yeah, that's great. I didn't know that, Brenna. Thanks. Oh, so astute of you. But no, in all sincerity, no matter if you were premature, if you were C-section baby, if you arrived 4 weeks late, you were brought into this world, into this physical vessel in this time for that reason. So that's where a lot of people ask me that, because what you'll see and what I'll show you here for Arizona, is her design date, right, is August 20th. So it's about 88 degrees, aka 88 days before you were born, roughly. So it's when in human design we believe that your soul was designed, or your soul chose your physical vessel. So what's interesting is that if you look at your design date, I've actually had a couple people recently, and often sometimes, that book their reading on their design date. Yeah, that's where I have kept it, but I thought again, yeah, absolutely. Thank you. You're sweet. But I love that. So you may connect with very late August Leos, or gate 7 Leos, gate 56 Leos. We could see that as well. Or early degree Virgo placements. So also something to pay attention to. Yeah, Virgos, exactly. You see it. Assuming you're a Virgo, King Yellowbeard. Yes. So I struggle being human is Arizona's question. Whatever spirit calls you to address. So one of the things that I'll say automatically, hi Cosmic Fairy, is that my projectors, my manifestors, and my reflectors, you guys are known as non-sacrals, which means that your sacral center is undefined, and it's the way that we can tell if you're a projector. We're looking at your human design body graph and not having the chart properties like easy access kind of cheat sheet on the left-hand side. So this tells me because of your circuitry. And energetically, I always say for me and my experience with projectors, reflectors, and manifestors, you guys are more like spiritual beings having a human experience. Something that I just made a video about for someone that had made a comment a while ago, but I just felt called to talk about it today based on the conversations. Yeah, the conversations that I had, yeah. Is that it can be really hard for you guys to find genuine people to make, hi Michaela, to make genuine connections with. It takes time, right? And I resonate with that too, right? Like it's very hard because I've met so many people through work. It's always been a hard distinction. Well, who's actually my friend that's got me versus who's somebody that just wants to get close to me because of like to be work related buddies, and like who are the people that like are clear about what the boundaries are of both. Like versus the people that try to like sneak in and think that the only reason I'll share information is if they pretend to be my friend, right? Like that can be a big thing, especially in the spiritual community. I found one, but he's a stubborn Virgo. Yeah, I'm like, is he or is he not in the room? And is his name, is he associated with the color yellow? I don't know. But yeah, so what's interesting with your placements, right, and struggling to be human is that ideally in a perfect world, you're only around people 4 hours a day. So watching out for that. If you are around a lot of people very often or feel like, I have a feeling that you guys chat a lot, Yellowbeard, like if you guys are chit-chatting like throughout the day, that's good, right? But know that if you ever hit that period, because you're also a 1-3 Arizona, where like you need your long period of introspection, that's cool too, right? Because I say literally it takes all types to make the world go round. So like you need kind of like long periods. I'm a 1-3 as well. We need long periods to like go, we call it like parallel play. So it's me just like casually channeling like in the middle of this, right? It's like allowing yourself to, it doesn't communicate ever. Okay, so we're having the opposite problem. Leave it fair for the Virgo. My dad is a Virgo, and I was saying earlier before you guys hopped on that he's staying with me, and I always am like, I'll be like, Dad, I'm going downstairs to do some work for an hour and a half, and he's like, don't worry about me, and I was like, I know, but I just want to tell you to communicate. I know you as a Virgo appreciate it. But yeah, so that's data, right? So, when you find somebody that, thank you, when you find somebody that really sees you, right? If it's somebody that, if I do this to people all the time, I am half the people that I meet, I can say pretty confidently, it's probably half the people. It is the first time that they have ever had somebody genuinely see them. And that can do one of two things. It can create deep parasocial unhealthy relationships or it can create really deep bonds with people. And then it's a balance of making sure that like, this is still my job, right? This is still a service that I provide. And I'm a multifaceted person that has a fiance and friends and a dad I'm taking care of and communicating with my family that lives 2 hours away and doing all these different things. So if somebody starts to get a little tight that I don't show up in the same way because I'm warm and I'm friendly, I also don't put blame or boundaries on other, well, I don't put blame, I put boundaries, but I don't put blame on other people. Yeah, exactly. I had because of it. So in my line of work, yeah. But I don't blame other people because there is such a lack of genuine, kind-hearted, like non-malicious people. We exist, right? There's 10 of us that are here collectively right now, but it's like it takes time to find our people. And every day I'm setting that intention, like you guys should too, of like bring me more aligned people, because you as a projector, your people really do make up your environment. And that's why I always say like I really advocate for making and keeping my side of the street clean. I'm not afraid to apologize if I fucked up because I'm a human too, right? What I don't accept is other people who have, you know, a lot of people have sets of circumstances and are kind of boundary happy and using that word when it benefits them. But then like once you apologize for something that is just a human error and it wasn't like something that was done out of malintent, like all of a sudden like the script switches a little bit, you know? Yeah, Michaela, I'm sure you know, at like personal level. So you guys are feeling that collectively, right? I may have a problem. I do not call no people to find me. No, yeah. So maybe it's the opposite. Maybe it's like the needing to call people. Dime con quién andas y te diré quién eres. Okay. Call me. Yo no sé andas. I can, my reading comprehension, you'll have to do my translation. Please. There we go. Yeah. Oh, here. Yeah. Oh, tell me who you're with and I'll tell you, I'll tell you know who you are. Or I'll tell you who you are. Yes. Thank you so much. No, it's so true. And that's where like, I was saying this for you, Arizona, with projectors specifically. Oh, Michaela, there you go. Please feel free to practice. Help me learn. You guys really want to focus on the quality of the people. So if it is just you and King Yellowbeard against the world, it's Arizona, Queen Arizona and King Yellowbeard, right? Gracias. Thanks, Michaela. Like that's okay that you guys just have each other right now. And focusing on building the strength in your relationships and having authentic conversations, even when things get hard, or you guys trigger each other's boundaries, or like maybe one of you hasn't been able to rely on certain people and the other one is teaching the other person that they're safe to rely on, and it's you two guys against the problem. King Yellowbeard is like, yes, I've been trying to tell her this forever, but she's not listening to me. Thank you that it's coming from you. I promise I didn't pay her to say this. Right? Just letting the psychic gifts kind of come in, right? It's okay to be afraid to be hurt because being hurt is inherently a part of being human, unfortunately, right? Sounds good. Thank you so much. I'll pivot up your chart in a second. And that's not to say that hurt is to be expected or anticipated or like welcomed. Like, yes, I cannot wait to be hurt. Yeah, exactly. My least favorite part. I know. And I think at the end of the day, like every time that I struggle with somebody that has presented a challenge to me emotionally where I'm like, damn, like I really thought they were one of the good ones and they let me down. I turn and I focus and I list 3 people that I know are good people in my life that continuously show up for me, right? That I have right now. I know Michaela's a real one. I know Anna's a real one. I know Tara's a real one. I know Megan's a real one, right? I could go through and really list all of you guys, but it's like, I focus on the people that I know are genuinely, thank you so much, and doing like good in the world. So it's like, I could hyper focus and let all of our Scorpio placements, we can let our Scorpio placements obsess over the person that wronged us, or I can obsess on putting the energy into the people that I know are good. Right. So it's like, even if it's like one person, right, you can practice this, Arizona, with like, you know, helping you to be human, like focusing on the 3 qualities that you know are good, because to offset the bad. We are all complex and different. That's literally what this chart shows us in front of us. Real recognize real. Thank you. Where like, I'm not going to process and see things the same way as every other person. Like for you, like you have to be autonomous and have, hey Afro, and have long periods of introspection, Arizona. Yeah, exactly. There you go. Sun, Moon, Rising, or Scorpio. You're like, seen? What the fuck are you talking about? Like, what do you mean? What do you mean seen? Like, what do you mean? Like someone wants to talk to me? Like, what are you talking about? So it's very private, right? Because you know, as a Scorpio, when you're perceived, you're like a magnet that draws everyone to you. But unfortunately, it's kind of like that inherent kind of like seductress, sexy energy where like you have that femme fatale allure that like, oh, maybe I like don't feel that great walking down the street. Like everyone's going to come find me. So like powers, you know, yeah, I've always seen it. Yes. Doing your rituals for protection, energetic protection, literal protection, take what you need to take from that, right? Paying attention to those things, knowing that there are good people, and at the end of the day, that like as long as you have somebody that's willing to navigate the hard things with you, and you operate from a place of forgiveness, you can move forward. There are things that people that I love that are close to me have done that like still I twinge a little bit. I'm a Scorpio moon too, so I still cringe at that. There's also 44%, which is the Scorpio gate placement. Yeah, I'm 2 seen. It's only been okay the last few years. I'm working on peopling. That's fair. I couldn't figure it out, but I booked. Oh, yay. Okay, perfect. Thank you so much. Okay, awesome. I'm glad that came through. Thank you. Thank you. Okay, we have that. Okay, cool. Yes, 8:20 Saturday. Okay, good. But yeah, so, you know, I encourage you, the core of what my message is to focus on, like, the two of you clearly have a good relationship that you're building in some way. Arizona and Yellowbeard. So whatever that looks like for you to know and to remember that it's you guys against the problem, right? Throughout your relationship, it's not coming from a place of attack. I can't believe that they did things that way. I can't believe that they saw something that way. If you truly are both entering into the connection authentically and leaving people space to be individuals and live in the science of differentiation for how we all have different human design body graphs, that is always going to take you down a good path of authentic connection. We're going to break and build stuff. I love that. I love that. It's beautiful. We could just mic drop there at this point. A beautiful way to end it. From nice words from a Virgo, as we should have known. My New Jersey Italian energy coming out. I'm not Italian, but being around them. Yeah, he's been a reminder good people do exist. I love that for you guys. And it's like knowing that, like, really what's also been happening as I bring up your chart here, like, oh, wow, it just, hold on. It's going to come back. I'm circling it back. Maybe it's gone. Maybe it left. Maybe it will come back. I'll try to recall what I was going to say. Something along those lines of like people being raw nerves. Damn. It was good too. And I'd said it a couple times today. Oh, whatever. It wasn't meant to be just now. Yeah, the mic drop moment, we'll leave at it. Yeah. Oh, Pluto energy. Yeah. Oh, yeah. And listen, you know you best at the end of the day. And if there's anything that I could, you know, healthily, strongly hug, I'll say, into my projectors, it's that, like, you guys know what your intentions are, and you just got to take things in stride one day at a time. Not allowing yourself to, oh yeah, okay, perfect. Thank you so much for, okay, so we'll do solar return. Not allowing yourself to get, oh, there you go. Okay, so this will apply to you too, Afro. Not allowing yourself to getting pummeled by the waves. I'm talking about Pluto retrograde this month in Patreon. So for Patreon this month, the reason I'm going with that in mind, because it's happening during Taurus season where there's some squares there, is to focus on how you play a role in impacting the energy of your community. So it makes me nice. Yuck. Yeah, exactly. Literally though, it's like, where can you start to give people like the benefit of the doubt and realize that like everyone is going through their own struggles? Like if I could shake that into everybody right now, I'm like, oh, don't take things personally, even when it feels personal. Like if I could shake things into people and be like, listen, like it is really like in the best way, like it's not about you. It's like, oh my God, like it's not about me. This isn't about me. Oh my God, that's such a relief. Like how this person is acting, what they're going through, I don't know, right? I don't know what's happening. And so, yeah, I'm among my people. This feels so nice. Yeah, I'm so glad. It's like, it's very challenging. Afro, I literally have a playlist of 18 videos all about being a projector on my page. So like, please feel free to just enjoy the energy that I poured into them to pour into you guys to help. Yeah, and with my train of a chart, yeah, maybe listen, and like it is what you make of it. So like if you always kind of like harp on yourself and yuck your own yum about like, it's kind of like not being able to take a compliment, you're welcome. Not being able to take a compliment, it's like the same thing. Like anyone's chart, like people could harp on the fact that I'm a Scorpio moon and like how that aspects my 4th versus my 10th house, and be like, wow, your home life is horrible. And I'm like, yeah, there's parts of it that aren't great, but like I can still take it in stride. And so it's like, not to catastrophize is also a good thing to pay attention to, where it's like, yeah, but like everyone has their shit, you know, and not to diminish how you're feeling, but we're getting to the point, because you're a projector and you're more progressive than the average person. You see things farther ahead than the average person. Like, we need to focus on getting you like supported, and how you find support and how you can kind of grow. I'm okay most days, but I've made huge movements last year. Yeah, so I'm getting better. Yeah, absolutely. Like, you have too much good energy to like keep it hidden, but just know how to have boundaries on people. You know, givers have to have boundaries because takers don't have any. So it's like focusing on the people that deserve it, and focus on being the talent in your own life. Like, what are the things that you need to do that are going to feel more energetically aligned for you? Yeah. It's like, you guys all deserve that. I feel like that's just channeled for everybody at this point. To end your reading. Yeah, a little. So it's at let's see, we're 47 minutes into this recording. So when I post this on YouTube tonight, well, it'll process tonight, it'll actually post tomorrow. Go to 47 minutes, and then you can go and listen to your recording. Hi Lily, it's good to see you again. You can listen to that again. But without that being said, I'm going to go into Mégane's chart here, and pour into her solar return energy of the year, so we can get some of the vibes of what is happening for the year ahead. So based on the current city that you're in. So if we pivot here, thank you so much, guys. I appreciate you. Into your chart, right? So this is what your solar return chart is looking like for this year. I feel like a meme is coming right. Yeah, happy solar return. Yes. So themes of this year. Teaching you how to use your energy wisely. Hi, Maple. And knowing when to say yes. What's nice too is you have a little bit of extra activation in your root center. Also with this channel here, this channel has this energy of growing out of the economic class that you were born into. So this year being focused, thank you, Afro. This year being focused on making money for you is a really good thing to focus on. Also, with that being said, gate 32 is going to bring up some fears around being your most successful self. And this can sometimes be a consistent theme, but there's a little bit more of like this extra emphasis based on where you're at. This is where looking into astrocartography is also helpful. But essentially, writing down all the fears and the reasons that, I think I said this last time too, I want to say, writing down all the fears and reasons for why you think that you can't do it. And then 3 actions that push you into the direction of how you actually can. Because I always say, like, why the fuck not you? Like, if everyone else can do it and there's people with twice the audacity, but 1/3 of the knowledge, like, why can't you do it? Because you care. Hi, Pika. You care, you should go for it. There's like nothing that is a desire on your heart. I've said this already, I think like once or twice already in this live. Like, the desires on your heart are not there for no reason. They're supposed to be there with a purpose. So if you have that, what's a way that you can start to? Thank you. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. No, you don't worry about that. Hello. Figuring out how to take one step at a time. Right? And think about, well, how is everything that I'm doing today, even on the days where it feels pointless because I don't see results in the immediate moment, how is this getting me closer and closer to who I want to be this time next year, or who I know that I can be 5 months or 5 years from now? Right? And that's where it's like the consistency of what we do every single day really does matter. And I know that feels like so boring and cliche to say, but like, you have to remember that this year. That's a big point that's being driven home for you. And if is it like, what are the things that you can make it that it's like a nice fun ritual? This isn't to like self-flagellate and like make yourself feel bad about whatever is happening. You know, it's like, okay, I know that I want to grow and have 10,000 followers on my TikTok, right? And then, but if you're not posting every single day, or if you look at your posts and you're like, no one's commenting or no one's engaging, thank you, I appreciate that. I love that it's like the flower garland on, if you look at your posts and you're like, no one's commenting or no one's engaging, thank you, I appreciate that. I love that it's like the flower garland on the chart. That was cute. Thank you. Thank you, Darian. That's what's going to be really important for your solar return, right? So, because it's going to affect your finances and how you value money. You also aren't somebody that's going to quit your day job this year, right? Perfect for Beltane, yes. Who's going to quit your day job to like pursue your dreams if you can't actually see that the money's coming in, right? So figuring out like how you can get like, okay, 1 week you may do great. Maybe you start going on TikTok live and you make $1,000 for readings because you've gone live for 4 hours a day for 7 days and like you made bank, right? But you're like, okay, I've done this week. Let me split this and say I'm putting $500 away, but I'm really only mentally allowing myself to consider. Yeah, exactly, Capricorn. It's so true. It's so true. You're gate 54. That's always going to be consistent in your chart. But how can, if you're as disciplined about making money through a 9-to-5 job, I know last time we spoke, we were talking about career too, but if you're as concerned about making money in like a boring way or a way that doesn't necessarily fill your soul, how can you also allow yourself to start to allocate funds energetically or literally towards your dreams? For you, it's also going to be more like literal money. Like, if you are booking readings online like I do, right? Like I pay for Calendly, which is my booking software. You can pay for it for a year, for a month. And so say you're like, okay, I know that I want to make bookings. I want to do bookings online and have a booking software. How can I save $17 to make sure that I'm investing in growing and showing the universe that I want to invest in that thing? Hi, Amy. That's what needs to start to come through. Yes. It'll be a third house perfection year. Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. Well, because this is what happens too. Whatever the theme of your, hi Dana, whatever the theme of your perfection year is, or whatever sign is in, like say your third house, for example, it always takes on a little bit of the flavor of whatever came before that, right? When we enter into a new chapter of our lives, it's because we just finished one prior, and that ending had to happen so that we had more information for the new beginning, for that process to kind of move forward. So if it's a perfection year in your second house going into your third house, so on and so forth, like that's a good way that I always look at perfection years. There's actually, yes, I believe so. Let me double check. Stand by. 25. I'll bring up my handy dandy chart. 25. Yes, second house perfection year. Exactly. So this is what we're feeling. Oh my God. Yes. So I actually have one Afro over on Patreon. So please feel free to join us if you'd like. And I'd love to have your projector perspective on like where you need more support. It's only $22 a month and you can cancel anytime. I have one for each of the energy types, but you projectors are my biggest group. So there's that. But yes, Mégane, thank you so much. Yes, Social is in our Manifestor one. Michaela's in our Mangen one. And you guys get a TikTok mini live reading included. You were just channeling Afro. These readings are included in your Patreon membership. So just so you know, you get one of these readings and then you get a training from me, bonus videos, energy updates, direct access to me for any questions that you have. I make content for you guys. So there you go. And new moon and full moon circles. That's also something that I started doing the last couple months, which have been really fun. But to get back to your perfection year, I don't want to forget to say that. Also figuring out as you go through this perfection year, this solar return, knowing when to pick things up and when to let things go. So it's okay if you don't see things through to the societally acceptable ending of them. That's also really coming into form, and extra emphasis on that for you this year, because it's like that Aries energy that's happening this year for us, especially with Neptune in Aries that's happening right now. It's like, oh, I'm excited. I'm new. I want to get started. I want to just like go boldly in this direction. And then I'm like, you know what? I got what I needed out of that, because actually maybe I wanted to start creating content on TikTok. And I went so fast in that direction, and I got a lot of people that were interested in what I have to say. But then I realized that, you know what? I really like to do how-to videos, right? Just using this as an example, because we're on a social media platform. I really like to lead by example, and I like to teach people, but maybe I like to talk a lot longer and teach on a whiteboard, and that doesn't exactly translate in the way that I want it to artistically to TikTok. So you know what? YouTube is a better option for me. And so anything is gonna, yeah, low-key confusing. One day I have energy, another day I don't know. Yeah, and that's totally normal. That's also because you have a completely open ego motivation center. So it's like Okay, this is why it's so funny. I'm going to be doing a lot more body doubling starting next week. So I'll do over on YouTube as I'm getting my steps in and I'm working at my desk. I have the center defined. So like I'm working and doing my thing, like whether you guys see me or not. Like I'm going and going through emotions. I have my admin time. So on YouTube, I'm going to do, and I've done a couple here, but I just prefer that forum. Because it posts right away as well. I don't have to download and upload it again for like every one of my lives. But if you guys want to tune into that, I pour from my overflow into you. I was with Rachel, who's one of our projectors that's in Patreon, and she also gets private mentorship from me. And she lives in Long Island. So I actually drove to her last Sunday. Today's her birthday. I drove to her last Sunday. And I filmed in her studio, and so we'll have some cool content that's coming out. She's Rachel Flynn here on TikTok. She's on my Instagram too. Thank you so much, Afro. I appreciate that. And so she, with the body doubling, she was like, oh my God, just you being here and like filming me as I'm like supposed to, like as you told me to like work and paint as I'm like filming. Hi, Rambo. She was like, I got so much done. And that's an example of body doubling in real time. So if you need, like, I made those productivity timers for each of the energy types. So like if I go to, let me do this. I'll open this for you guys so you can see. Like you can see I listen to them too. They have such cute, like, and you don't have to use mine, but like any of them that you feel aligned to do. I made these for each of the energy types with like mantras that are associated for your energy type. It's 20 minutes. It just helps. It's a little bit of like infused. Like I sat with the whole time that I made these and I was like, pour overflow from my ego motivation center. That was my intention with that. So things along those lines that can just give you some of that Neptune and Aries like boost where you don't have to feel super like, what am I doing? You're like, I can do anything, for 20 minutes. I can do anything in that direction. Just as some other kind of like ways that I can express to help you with that, right? So thinking of things in that direction. And what I said earlier to circle back, hi, Sin, it's nice to see you. Welcome. The undefined G center energy that's being activated during this time. And for anybody that has an undefined G center, but especially for your solar return this year, is thinking about like, I know everything that I'm doing consistently today is for future me. And when I have my most successful business, my most successful business 5 years from now, what does it look like? What does my day look like? Or what do I want my day to look like? For me, like I know that I'm not a morning person, so I'm not going to set up my business now or when I was doing this, 5 years ago. No one's getting me at 9 o'clock in the morning. I love you. I don't want to talk to you at 9 a.m. I don't want to be presentable at 9 o'clock in the morning. To me, like that's early for me. I'll be on. I'll be available. Michaela knows I was on her live this morning and I was like, hello, I'm here, vegging in. And then I was starting to make my dad breakfast. So I was like, okay, pivoting to dad. Yes, my list is open, Sin. Pivoting to my dad, right? But I'm like, I cannot be responsible for what happens pre-coffee, Brenna, right? Like, so I'm not going to put myself in that position. And that's how you teach the universe to treat you. I was saying this last night on YouTube Live. Michaela was there. And we were talking about setting up like for a content creator. Like if Michaela's up and is a morning person, she's a young mom, like you have a youngin' at home, like they're going to be up. You might as well capitalize on the fact like if I'm up and I have things to do, like work with your natural energy flow for like what feels good for you, right? Like what feels open. Darian, I didn't want to forget to ask you this now. Do you want me to read for you 8:20 on Saturday p.m. or I do have the availability to read for you right now if you'd like to, since I just closed with Megane's reading. Yeah, without my frappe. Oh my God, the frappes are so good. I don't want to talk. It's so true. I was addicted. So my fiance's sisters both live in Puerto Rico. And Megane, thank you for letting me pour into you. Let me know if you have any questions as a result of that. Are you like to wait? Okay, perfect. Perfect. But frappes are like so big in Puerto Rico, and I know like you can get them at McDonald's, but like there was just something about them that was so good, and I was like, I need one of these every single day. Like those are the things that like you come back home and you're like, I wish I could recreate this, but like I just can't. Yes, exactly. Writing your fears down and then 3 actions that you can take that align with your future self. That's the biggest thing. That's like a practical, if I could give you homework to do, that's something that will take years, like add years to your life and take a lot of anxiety off your plate, because you're like, wait, when I actually do this. And also practicing using your throat, saying them out loud to yourself. I also would encourage you to do like any type of like mantras, like just like speaking kindly to yourself, like anything that you can do to kind of like fill your learning where to put your energy. Exactly. And where, like, because it's a second house perfection year, it's like, where are you getting the most bang for your buck? Literally, when I put my energy here as efficiently as possible, because it's manifesting generator energy, this is where I see that it's paying off. Like if I know that I show up to work, I know I'm getting paid. If I know that I go here, hi Bren, I feel good after I leave that person, right? But it's like, if I am going to see this friend that I've only seen, you know, once in a blue moon, and I just, because I've met them, I've known them my whole life, I meet them every 6 months and I leave and like, I'm really fucking tired. Like that's a big thing. What I'll also say with this, and something that I was learning when I was like 24 to 25, is also like making sure that I was not being social, hi Pedro, during my luteal phase, because I don't even want to see myself when I'm in my luteal phase. So if you are somebody that has a period, pay attention to that, because sometimes it's not the other person and it's like, bitch, you should have just stayed home and rested. Yay. Okay, cool, Sin. Thank you so much. Okay, let me pull up your chart. And my second monitor behind you guys here, so. Okay. And then we'll start in 2 minutes. I'll start earlier. Thank you for the ones who waited. Oh yeah, absolutely. No, you're fine. We were right. Yeah, you're so welcome. Currently experiencing. Yeah. So we're just all in the same boat right now. Girl, same. All of our cycles are synced on the live. I've been hibernating this week, literally. So I think we're considered white witches. I think it's like, because if your ovulation aligns with like going up to the yeah, I'm sorry for mine to leave permanently. I feel that, right? I'm like, I'm not going to be too preemptive with it, but I'm like, thank you. It's a blessing to teach me how to rest. And there's a reason in a season. Start on the new moon. Okay, yeah. For anyone who knows that, there's like a red witch and a white witch. I don't know. I'm not as well informed on that. But yeah, I know that there's something like that. Yeah, usually around the full moon. Yes, there's a name for it. Yeah. It's cool to see that, like how that plays out in all cycles of life. Everything's always a cycle, that's for sure. Make sure I hydrate. So I'll start now because we're here with Sin. Now that I've hydrated, we can ground a little bit. And we'll talk about, yeah, I know it's challenging. Yeah, I mean, listen, I think we're all healers in some way, shape, or form. It's just a matter of like how, this is so random. You know, so random things to perimenopause. Yes. Hi, Livy, welcome. Everyone can be a healer. It just depends on like what's your modality and how you want to heal. How you want to heal yourself, how you want to heal other people. So it's not that you can't, right? It's not that any of your goals or your dreams or your ideal partner that Cynthia is asking about. It's like, how it's the practical application of what's most aligned with your energy. So with that being said, I'm just going to pivot over into Sin here, who has paid for the next 10 minutes of my time to look at her beautiful human design body graph and then talking about advice when it comes to love. So things that I'll say right away, and something that's helpful for any of my single fellow projectors like Cynthia, who are single, splenic projectors specifically. Yes, literally, a genetic healer, so accurate. A legacy, especially my line 5 people. But Cynthia, when you're a projector, you really want to focus on thinking about the fact that you are the prize. I'm also, Cynthia, I don't think you were on when I said this, but these are recorded. I download them and upload them to my YouTube channel. We're an hour and 5 minutes into this live. So if you go to the hour and 5 minute mark, you'll see a reading there, so that you can watch it again and again for everything I'm about to share with you. So being a projector, you are the talent in your life. So focusing on the fact that you want to create people coming to you because your strategy is to wait for the invitation. You just want to do everything that you can to make yourself available when it comes to partnership. If you're not already partnered, right? Assuming that you're single. Yeah, Malia, there you go. Hello, I didn't see you sneak in. So that's really important. And that's such a nice thing to like know about yourself. And this works for projector men and women. Like you want to be in a position where like as a projector or somebody who's a projector with more masculine energy, figuring out how to make friends with your feminine is really, really good for you. That's not to say that you can't have like, we all have masculine, feminine traits. But how you want to enact on it is important. Now, waiting for the invitation means that like, you don't have to be the one that's super proactive about like making the connection, like being the first one to text. Yeah, I was going to say, I had a feeling that you felt like more like in your, like having more masculine energy. And that makes sense for your placements. Like you're very much so a doer. And it's like, do you know your rising sign off the top of your head, Sin? I can't see that from this chart, but that will help me, think about your 7th house. And I wanted to talk about that to see if you have any planets there. Oh, Virgo. Okay. So, Virgo, Aries, or, wait, I'm having like a brain fart. Hold on. Oh, Pisces, duh. Me being a Pisces, I'm like my Virgo counterparts. Oh my God. Thank you. Stand by. No planets. Thank you, Darian. I was like, wait, I know this. This is in my head. Yes, exactly. So, looking and finding. Oh, there you go, Dana. Yes. We were talking about this when how I met my fiance, and feeling connected with people. So like you and I have like 7th house synastry with you because my sun sign, my Venus sign, and my Saturn sit in your 7th house. So like finding people or wanting to prioritize love during Pisces season. Hi, support humans. When there's Pisces in your life. The guy I'm seeing, I'm currently questioning, not sure about him. Yeah, and I think that, oh, Aries rising. Oh, it's your season. It's your season to be seen. There's 2 things that I'll give you, Sin, as a good guide and a litmus test. And signature, your signature sense is what about him feels successful? Okay, Pisces rising, I like that. I wonder if he's a projector also. You probably, like if you feel like he takes more of the feminine traits in the relationship and you take more of the masculine, there's also nothing wrong with that. I think just making sure that like, where you feel bitter, you're not self-themed, that means that you're acting out of alignment in some way. And when you feel bitterness, you also want to refine that down to asking yourself, I don't like it. Yeah. And you can if you think that this guy is a good person that has the opportunity to work with you. Like both, Manny's my fiance's name, both Manny and I had to like change the way that we responded to things to have a better foundation for our relationship. Like there were a lot of moments of like uncomfortable conversations during the first year of our relationship. The first year of our relationship was like the hardest year of our relationship, right? Yeah, Pika. So like we were like in our like figuring out how to connect with each other era. Like that was just the beginning. And he has a Pisces moon, I have a Pisces sun. We have good synastry. But yeah, it was just like figuring out like how to have the conscious conversations. He's a psychology major. He wanted to be a psychologist, a therapist. So he's like also, well-versed and educated. And I think like if this Pisces rising man has the ability, emotionally it's great. Physically is where I struggle. Yeah, so your gate 56 Venus. So I want to read to you actually from, this is so funny, the only astrology book you'll ever need, because this is going to be like a helpful little, you'll appreciate this. Hold on. Gate 56 is like you need to be mentally stimulated by your partner. It's good, right? You need to be mentally stimulated by your partner. Because it's gate of storytelling. They need to allow you to yap. Okay, amazing. Yes, I love that. your Venus sign sits in the throat center. So like, communication is everything to you. If they're like too aloof, or like it's harder for you to feel like you're not heard or not seen, or there's not time for you to cultivate grounded time to communicate, it's going to be an issue. This is what I wanted to read. Without doing anything, Venus Leos are able to attract warm feelings on the parts of others. Okay, yeah. And thinking about it, you can say straight up, because what you have in your favor, even though you're a projector, you have the benefit of your consistent energy coming from your spleen and going to your throat, where communication, you don't have to take action. You're not necessarily creating an invitation, but it's like, you're just letting somebody know how you feel and what they do with that information, and paying attention to their actions, and whether or not they try or show that they care about what you've explained is what's really important for your Venus sign. Because with your Venus sign too, you're gate 56 in the 6th line. So you have just transitioned into feeling like a role model in that role. But Leo Venuses, like, you do need to be baby, just like my Cancer Venuses. Like, there are points where like you really need somebody, like you like having somebody that's a provider for you. And someone who like works and is like, has that ability to like want to work, to want to provide, like want to be able to like hold their weight. A lot of times for Leo Venuses, you need somebody who is able to like help you fund your dreams. Not to say that it can't be reciprocal or that you don't like to work, but like there's sometimes that he may be giving 80% when you give 20. That's pretty much going to be a core foundational value for you, generally speaking. But then because if they let you have that time, hey Magoo, you're going to be able to pivot and do the same thing for them. So following it through that way. It's okay to like the finer things in life if you feel inclined to, right? That's a general Leo Venus statement for you. So using that at your discernment and your discretion for what feels good and aligned there. Like, and if you're with somebody that's like, if you like the finer things and you like to live a certain lifestyle, and that person's pretty steadfast on like living somewhere else, or like living in an A-frame in the woods, and like that's not really your jam unless the A-frame has like 85 rooms, like it's okay, even if that person's a good person, to let them go so somebody more aligned comes in, right? And that's, again, this person obviously more than I do. So focusing on that is important. What you want to pay attention to. Oh yeah. I wonder, he may have gate 29. And that can be like the Pisces rising, like gate 29 people too can mean well. People, it's like, I've had people that have been like, yeah, I could do that for you. And, let me think of something. Let's say I ask somebody to be a personal shopper for me because like I don't have time to go get a dress for that event. And they say that they like to be a stylist, and they're like, yeah, I could go find a dress for you. But they didn't do like a proper questionnaire that a shopper the personal shopper will ask you. So they got the wrong measurements, or they didn't ask me the proper questions, because like they're the professional. I'm relying on them to be able to tell me what they know. But then like they come back and they got a dress that is like a maxi dress when I really wanted a sundress, and like they didn't ask important questions. Hi, Floor. So even though, yeah, in theory they can go to get me a dress, they didn't actually know how to ask the proper questions, and were like too eager to be people pleasers and yes people, right? That pesky gate 29 gets me into trouble. I know. And like at your core, it's good. So it's like, it's really like, we don't dislike you guys for it, but just know like what are the reality of the facts of what you can realistically do, versus just saying like, yes, because, you want to help that person. It's more genuine if you're like, hey, I want to help you. Let's get to the facts and the logistics of what's actually happening or necessary. So, allowing and kind of like having there be a little bit of a courtship sin, like don't feel like because you are a go-getter, that you have to transfer that to your relationship. Like in so many areas, like I'm also a very masculine woman. Like I have a lot of masculine traits. Like I'm very assertive, and I can be confrontational, and I can set boundaries, and that can be called aggressive if you're a woman that is firm on her values. But like I have a lot of strengths in my convictions that are associated with masculine traits. But like in my romantic relationship, like I like to be baby. Like I'm okay with being baby, right? Like, we have that. Yeah, absolutely. Yes, you didn't ask the right questions, and it's helpful. Yeah, right? Like, I'm a Pisces Venus with an Aries Venus man. Like, we know what's up. We know what's up, right? So allowing yourself to be like that, right? To just know that that's natural for you. There you go, Pika. Like, that's, you know you best at the end of the day. You know what your priorities are. You know with this guy, in your heart of hearts as a projector, where you see this going. When you feel like you're trying to get too into the weeds and looking at the data and exploring and finding like how he's going to be the perfect person. Yeah, Zandra, hello. Or the perfect mate, come back out again and say like, do I realistically, bird's eye view, see this going, hi sunrises, in the direction that I know that it's supposed to be going for what the future, like it is. Am I not conflating what could happen, and am I being realistic? It's figuring out like how to not date people for their potential is really important, but like knowing that everybody has potential that they're growing towards. So like when I was first with, excuse me, thank you sunrises, I appreciate that. When I was first with my fiance, or when we worked together, you know, he wasn't like, we were both dating other people, but he wasn't like at a point where like we were both looking at each other like that. We were like both in two very different stages. He's younger than me by 2 years. So he is 29. I'm 31 as well. So I was like, okay, like we were just in such like 21 to 23 are very different years. Like I say, every year of your 20s is like dog years. There's like 10 years worth of lessons in one, but he's also the only son of an immigrant family. So like there's energy there. And so when we started dating again, there were certain things that like we found each other where we were very much both in our single era, and we were like, oh wait, like let's hang out again. Like we like each other. And then we were like, oh, we like each other. And then we were like, okay, how do we kind of transition through like what we thought our like hot girl summers were going to be? And we still have that with each other, but like the tides are changing. And so because it was like Aries Venus, Pisces Venus, romantic, quick, like strong, powerful, like that comes with other logistics that you figure out later. Like, okay, like my lease is ending sooner. Do we want to move in together this quickly? Do we need more time? Like those kinds of like learning curve conversations like that. I just use myself as an example because I find it helpful to give you more data of like, as a 31-year-old woman, like what are your expectations of how you want a good mate and a good partner to enter into your life now, right? Like, is it somebody like that? I have some of my friends, my Leo Venus friends, my Cancer rising Venus friends, my Pisces Venus friends and clients that like want a guy that's a little bit older that like has say like a private law practice or something like that, right? Or like is like a New York City like corporate guy, right? But I also have friends with those placements that are looking at their men and they're like, oh, well, we actually want to build something together. So like we're building simultaneously and we're able to celebrate where we're at while still always wanting to take times to grow and then having moments to rest. Like you may find that this guy is a Pisces rising is like able to prioritize what he wants, but like he's able to also like enjoy the present moment and like know when to relax, know when to work, know when to play, right? Like I don't know his rising sign specifically, so I can only go off of like where you want the data to go. What I'll also say is that you're a splenic projector. If you're using your energy correctly, or if you are with or around the wrong people, notice how much you get sick. And if you're getting sick around him, like, cause the spleen is the energy center that holds the energy of our immune system. So for anyone who has an active spleen, if you like, I got sick so much for the month of January because universe is like, bitch, like it's Capricorn season. Like that's your 12th house, like relax. And I didn't do that. And I got my hands. Yeah, exactly. I got my hands slapped, but I was like, okay, got you. I promise I won't do this next year. Right. Listen, for all of you, I've been doing this work for 9 years. I'm a manifesting generator with the sacral authority that's just flying by the seat of my pants sometimes. Like I still have to remind myself of some of the basics, right? So yeah, exactly. I say whatever season is in your 12th house, that's your time to just kind of coast and like let yourself chill for a second, and maintain like nurturing nourishment for you, right? What are you ending? What's a new beginning? It was important for me to remind myself of that, which is why in Patreon last month, I was teaching optimizing your schedule based on your human design and astrology for that reason. So yeah, Cynthia. So like just some, important data for you to pay attention to. Tara, and Abrielle. Hi, Abrielle. I see you both here. So I'll pivot over, to Tara. It's Capricorn season. You need to relax. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Me saying that to myself all the time. I'm just going to pivot here. Let me my Octa Buddy. It's so funny. I have like the Berry Laneige lip gloss, and I put it in the same pocket. You're welcome, Sin. Just some more data for you to respond to. Remember, these are recorded. They're going on YouTube. We are, let's see, I started at like 7:31. It's 8:51, so we're an hour and 20 minutes into the recording. So Tara on YouTube, thank you so much. You can find that there, and then Abrielle, you'll be 10 minutes after that. So at like the hour and a half mark here. So, I have Tara's chart ready to go, so. And then your question, Tara, is looking for some insight on how I'm meant to heal people. Okay, I'm excited. Let's talk about this. Let's see. Okay. I know I just put you in again up here. Thank you, Malia. I didn't. There were a couple messages. Red moon is full moon. White moon is new moon. Thank you. I love that. Okay. Let's see. Leave it to my beautiful projector and Malia to find the data. Thank you. Thank you. Tara, okay. So a couple things. This is, you're going to laugh at me for this, before I pivot in. This is the copyright-free background music from Spotify. So that when I post it to YouTube, it doesn't get banned in other countries. Things that I think about. Oh, research 2 weeks ago. There you go. So it's like a lo-fi playlist. But yeah, if you literally, it's Tama's Little Music Shop. So Tara, for your placement, something that I went right to right away was looking at your undefined G center and undefined sacral and undefined solar plexus. And what I noticed is that a lot of people like you pick up on people's emotional ailments. So if you have like an ache or a pain that kind of seems like it came out of nowhere, or all of a sudden like your back left shoulder starts hurting and you're like, why is this happening? You're picking up on people's physical symptoms, but also help them heal by understanding the mind-body connection and the emotional connection to why they're experiencing pain in that area. So literally healing people like through the somatic expression of like where you're picking up on where they're misaligned in their body is important. The sacral center has a lot to do, like if you feel things in your gut or something in your stomach. It can also be people's like reproductive organs, the sex organs, like anything that the sacral rules that, right? If you guys are familiar with Reiki and have looked into the chakras before, you can also look up like in relation to your undefined energy centers, like where you can be predisposed to some misalignment, or just looking at like I did a series, oh God, I think it was just last summer, actually, that was about all of the medical human design for educational purposes only. I have to say that. So paying attention to like what like those elements, right? So if I can find it again and make a playlist out of it, I will. But yeah, time, so yeah, again, solar plexus too, like if you feel like anyone's, health call all your life, there you go. So you're already on brand with that, looking and deciding like, where are you more open, or where can you help people be more open in their emotions? I think also like, it's so funny because I still have to send you that. I just realized that. Bye. See you later. Have a good evening. My time. Morning to other people that may be here. Good evening. Like tinctures, it's so funny because you and Mégane are my two main manifestors that are most active in Patreon right now. And so when we're talking about like Megan's apothecary, root healing apothecary, I don't know if Megan's still here, she may have dipped out, but I see that a lot for your placements too, or people with your placements in undefined centers. It's like teaching people how to nourish with like our basic things. Oh yeah, root healing herbothecary. Thank you. Perfect timing. Root healing herbothecary. Perfect explanation. Like healing through herbs, tinctures, spices, like values, like thinking about that. There's also a book that I keep thinking about that like won't, like my guides or your guides won't let me shut up in my brain. There's Abraham Hicks or Louise Hayes has a book that talks about like if you have pain in this part of your body, this is the emotional energetic meaning. And so get that book. Again, Abraham Hicks or Louise Hayes. It's hi Kira, how are you? Happy Beltane. Yes, Abraham Hicks. Yes, Hicks. Oh, Louise Hay, you can heal your body, I think. Thank you so much. Okay, Louise Hay. Okay, thank you, Abrielle. And then there's also a really good book that my mom got years ago that's called Back to Eden by this guy Jethro Kloss. Anyone that's interested in herbalism, Sony, who's our reflector in Patreon, looking at Jethro Kloss, Jethro Kloss, also a great book to pay attention to, for sure. What you'll also do, Tara, because you have also a lot of masculine energy, like I do, is being really good at helping people trim the fat on the plans that they think that they have figured out, but they have holes in their plans. So that can be like, I was talking to Sabrina, who's Skell Designs. Sabrina will probably pop in here at some point, but her old account got hacked. Skell Design. She was making the survival tools, I'll say, the Mauska tools, with her husband. And we were talking about going around and selling them. I know you and Megan and Tara, you were both here for her readings. I think, yeah, Tara. That was Skell. And so teaching people like how to create and be self-sufficient, I'll say. But again, like if you want it to be like less healthcare survivalist related, like I just always like manifestors, you guys have such a like good OG foundational understanding of like needing and knowing how to be aware of that. But if you wanted to like assess like people's business plans or like be an editor of any kind, like an editor of somebody's life or, an editor of somebody's closet or an editor of someone's social media, that would be a really good skill set for you to help people heal, right? Yeah, editor. Yes. And just thinking about that, like blank editor, like if you could think about like all the areas that, I'm looking specifically at your 4816 and your 1858 channel of judgment. Hi, Twadiki. So that you can focus on like, okay, even if I don't know, it's like, even if you haven't had, the exact job that somebody like wants you to edit, or like if you haven't lived their same experience, they just know that you're able to look at it with an editor's eye and know exactly what needs to be done for them to get to their final goal. So don't let that like, I haven't had this experience exactly, or I haven't worked in, I don't know, like I haven't worked in career HR for like ever, but like you still know how to look at somebody's resume and generally know like what's necessary to be on their resume for like their stuff to be, coworkers send me their stuff all the time to review. Exactly. So that can also be a place where you like facilitate that. I also know that you're the type of person, and like I've seen you once on camera, right? But I know that all you have to do is like look at somebody and they know like they done fucked up in some way. like nicely, where you're like, it's like the mom's discerning eye of like, I saw that, like don't do that shit again. Like you may have gotten away with that with somebody else, but like not in my house. Like it's that kind of vibe. You just have to look at somebody once and they know. Like to come correct or not at all. More into plants than people these days though. Yeah, and that's fine. Like it can be like, people have very successful faceless accounts. Abrielle can kind of probably speak to that too, or people that have faceless accounts because she's a social media expert. But like a good, that's how I am with my staff right now. Yeah, absolutely. And thinking like maybe you go and like healing people through animals, or like paying attention. I'm just going to flip my screen here as I pull up Abrielle's chart. being around animals, right, or like healing people or creating, like working with an animal sanctuary or anything along those lines can also be a valid way that you help people or rehab people. Tina, I see you after this as well. Thank you so much. So, you know, it doesn't have to be, yeah, exactly. It doesn't have to be like, so if you want to heal people, but like you need to be like, I'll heal you by leading from example, by just helping, being a ripple of change in any way that I can. That's really good for you to focus on. Oh, yes. I just went to New Orleans for the first time last month, and I absolutely loved it because my Uranus line, which is one of my chart rulers, is an Aquarius rising, runs right through New Orleans. So it was so much fun. I loved it. I have a little, you probably saw it actually because you have each other. You're welcome, Tara. Thank you so much. Thank you. I had a little, like one of those mini Snickers before I came down here. I was like, oh, I have peanuts in my mouth. And Abrielle's question, yeah, New Orleans is like nowhere else. I know, I can imagine. Yeah, New Orleans is amazing. It's not scary. You know, spiritual protection. I passed like the Lalaurie mansion, which was like from American Horror Story. And that was creepy. Like that was the one place I was like, oh, like, why is there nobody around here? Like it's just such dark history. She was like torturing, the slaves that she had and like abusing them pretty, like literally wicked is the only word. So that was the one place that I was like, oh, I didn't need to walk by here. You know what I mean? Like I said a prayer for all the lives, like people that she didn't treat nicely. And then I kept on moving. I was like, all right, I'm going to go back to Jackson Square. But to put a pin in that for now, for Abrielle, I'd just be 2 minutes over, Tina. So thank you for your grace, and Abrielle, yours as well. I've been seeing a bigger vision, stages, creative industry, film sets, no clue what it all means. I can't see how or what steps to take, just see the vision. Feels like what I'm doing now is just a stepping stone, but it feels more and more misaligned lately. Any insight around this? Yeah, because I think like what you're doing, and I'm going to pivot so you can see my screen here. I'm recording this, Abrielle. I think you heard me say that, and then Tara as well, so that it's going on YouTube so you have it. I started at 7:30. It'll be an hour and a half into the recording for this reading. You're like at OG. I just see you so much so as a motivational speaker to some capacity. So I think if you start to figure out stages or places that you can be interviewed or that you can pitch or have an assistant, you can even make an email that's like assistant at Abrielle.com and email under that email and say, to whom it may concern, hello, you know, sincerely, warmly, you know, Abrielle's assistant, whoever. I had a client that I worked for, and her name was Antrice, and she had a fake like admin account that she called Anna. And that way she could like hold that headspace when she was doing her admin work. But I would also like, the visual that I get to just validate that for you is you, and being a speaker like Virgo, hello, gate 6, like grounding in your gate 36, is people who are interviewing you more so for your craft, but the bigger, larger red threads that run through whatever it is that you want to leave behind in terms of a legacy for other people. You're really great at instructing other people. You're a 1-3 like me, right? Like you're naturally a teacher, but it's probably like, okay, you've tapped out and you want new subject matter. You're a manifesting generator. Like it's okay that like this feels more like what you're doing now or parts of what you're doing now feels less aligned. And you're like, okay, I've done this. I've ran this circuit. What's the thing that people are always praising me for within my spaces that is like a character, value add that I have that people celebrate me, what I'm good at. Maybe it's spirituality. Maybe it's like something that you can't stop Googling that you have more of a vested interest in. Like what is that kind of, what's percolating there for you? And where can you kind of start to pivot where you're showing up and how you're in person, who's interviewing you for podcasts or things like that online? Who are people that you've I think you have a podcast as well, if I'm not mistaken. People who have interviewed you for your podcast, like look back into that Rolodex of people and don't forget that like those contacts didn't go away. Like those contact lists are still there. Those are still people that you can connect with in some way, shape, or form, that's not lost on you. So as you're kind of like aligning with, again, bigger visions, to your point, stages, creative industry, film, how can you get closer in that direction? Julia Bloom or Broom is a social media person on Instagram that you probably know just from being in the same circuit, that works. She's out in LA. Atlanta too, huge film population. Netflix just built a studio in my not hometown literally, but like near my hometown, in New Jersey. It was this old military base called Fort Monmouth, in New Jersey. Yeah, so many interesting people. I know it's like a totally different, like helpful second energy. Oh, can you repeat the name of that second book you said your mom had? Back to Eden. Yeah, absolutely, Pika. Thank you. So Abrielle, like when you think of like film sets and locations, like if you were to take over social media for somebody, maybe that's something. Yeah, I love that. Okay, I'm always Googling either creative things, how movies are made, film, the arts, or spirituality. I love, not A24, Arts, what is it, Arts 21? Yeah, Art 21 is a great, like for fine artists. This is a great like little place to start to look at artists. Maybe there's artists that have like if like say there was this artist Arthur Jaffa, right? You go to his film or whatever artwork he's doing and you're like his social media isn't that great. Maybe you're a manifesting generator. You can send him an email and say maybe that's a piggyback of how you want to work with artists. Maybe it's that you want to creative direct something like your own version of Art 21, because at the core is like you making people look good. You like to make people look good and highlight people who deserve to look good and get recognized for their craft, right? By proxy, looking at that. Just as an example, right? Whoever you want to look at through here in the artist directory. If you haven't looked at this or like know of Art 21 already, just start to kind of like be open. I think now is what's your rising sign, Abrielle? If you know, I think you know it off the top of your head. I'm assuming. Okay. That's okay. But for your rising sign, it would tell me what house Taurus is in for you. So what are kind of the themes right now? If I had to guess some activation, your Aries North node being activated. Okay, Aquarius. Yeah, I was going to say that too. You're an Aquarius moon, for sure. But yeah, definitely the visionary when it comes to that. And like, you're able to be very logical about your emotions, which is what like a lot of creative people will really love about you, like working in artist management in some way. But if you see like things along those lines, kind of decide, and I've given you some good things to respond to as a manifesting generator. Like if I'm talking about stages, is it that like you work with your local theater, or is it Broadway, or is it famous, anyone like that? Yeah, it's always right. Angle Cross of Eden is like, a lot of what the definitive book of not definitive book of human design, that as well technically, but the book of destiny says is like you come back to sharing light and shining light in other people, and know that like you are the lighthouse that helps other people shine their light out into the world too. You help the people kind of like figure out how to finesse and curate their image, like almost like an image consultant. Like that's kind of like another variation of that. You do it for yourself, but you also do it because you're known for doing that for other people. And it's interesting because this year you're going through from 38 to 42 is the whole transition through your incarnation cross and coming into form. You're figuring out what you want to fight for. Gate 11 is being activated, more creative ideas and ways to express yourself creatively makes a lot of sense. The 5611 channel is the channel of the storyteller, which literally is like actors and actresses. So that gate 11 is being activated. Where's gate 56? Gate 56 is your Leo Venus on your design side. So valuing the art of storytelling, which makes sense. Maybe you're somebody that interviews people that are famous, or facilitates conversations. Like I think of interviews from like the 92nd Street Y. That's in Manhattan, 92nd Street, if you couldn't guess by that very obvious name. But that like thinking about being a facilitator of bigger, broader conversations can also be something where like you're holding the container to be around people. Because I think if I had to guess what you're feeling as I pivot here, is you're feeling like a big fish in a small pond, and you're interested in feeling like a small fish in a big pond again, so that you can grow within that container. It's like koi fish, no matter the size of the pond, they always grow into it. That's a kind of a good example. And I just encourage you for the season, for the month of Taurus season, really looking at places and spaces where you're using, a discerning eye for who are the people that are really like at the level. Like, is it that you want to work with celebrities, right? Is that like something that you want to do right now, right? I was working with celebrities last year. Let me see, Tina, what is your, sunsets, duh. Okay, sorry. Sorry, stand by. I'm like, you have it. I was like, wait, that's Tina. Let me bring it up, hold on. But just be open to this month for being aware that the universe has put the desire on your heart, and who are the people who are really able to highlight that within you. Like, highlight that, like, okay, I resonate with this person. They're working with celebrities. Here, how I want to work with celebrities more. Here's how this feels more appropriate and aligned. So I will leave you with that for now. Yeah, exactly. Yes, celebrities, people, yes. And then it's like determine like what level of success is that for you? Like what is that level of success that is like, okay, is it an income thing? Is it a recognition thing? Is it notoriety? Define that successfully so that you can just get more clarity on like who's worthy of your time and your energy, so that you can learn from them. There's a great website called, it's NYFA, NYFA.org, that can help you look at places specifically for New York City, but just so that you can be aware of like what may also be happening in that corner of the world. And some other options, I think, creatively for what helps you feel like you're around more like-minded people that like are doing big things at the level of success that you're doing it. In any industry, there's so many different industries that you can go into with that, being creative. Who are the people that you admire, right? I was always a Real Housewives fan. Hi, yes. Oh, yes, Deanna, hello. A Real Housewives fan, and I knew at some point in my life I was going to work with the Real Housewives in some capacity, and I'm from New Jersey, so I was like, that makes sense. And then last January, I met Margaret Josephs at an event in January, because I just fucking said that. And I thought I was just going to talk to her for like 5 minutes, and she pulled up a chair and talked to me for 2 hours, and she hired me to read for her and 11 of her closest friends that she's known for forever at her house for her birthday party last April, right? So like that was something that I was like, okay, cool, like this is a goal of mine. And like I'm like, okay, what's next, or who's next, right? I've worked with a couple actresses, one from the show Manifest that I mentioned on Netflix. So it's like, okay, now like I like these people, that's a level of success, but I'm like, okay, where are people that are maybe a little bit more in like the college space, right? Like I'm working in like academics, writers, because we're 1-3s. Like I love people who are writing deep literature. Thank you so much. Writing deep literature, things along those lines to kind of help. So I'll leave you with that for now. Abrielle, I'm excited. I'm holding the vision in the container for you. You don't have that by mistake. And just paying attention to who it is in that area, that, defining your level of success in bigger stages creatively, it's going to be a kind of a place for you to start to focus on that. Again, smaller fish in a bigger pond, but like what are the waters that you're swimming in? What pond is it? So yeah, thank you. I know like success is always just going to keep coming to you. I have no doubt about that, like at all. So Tina will be closing us out, I believe. Yes, we have no more signups for tonight. Oh, I don't have to do that. I am just going to do this really quick so that I can block off my time. I'm going to go upstairs and spend some time with my daddy-o after this, as he's here. Oops. Wait, that's not what I wanted. Okay, I'll leave that for now. But just so that I can pour into Tina here. So is this the right time to start dating? So a couple things. I'm actually going to pull up your natal chart because I feel like this is going to be a little bit more helpful for us, because I want to see what's happening with the current transits of your 7th house. The short answer, what I want to say for you automatically is no, because you just started a new job, right? So it's like, not to say that you can't date and start a new job simultaneously, but I think that if it feels more challenging for you to date than something that's easeful, which seems like, if I'm reading the energetic lines, between the energetic lines of what you're asking with that question, it's like, if maybe there's a suitor, right? Or maybe there's someone that's out there. I think that if you are to start dating, you want to focus on people that are at or in an environment. Yeah, Aquarius, that makes sense, right? At or in an environment that feels a little bit more like we have a subject to talk about, or it's not like your standard bar or anything along those lines. Mars is on your ascendant right now, being a Leo rising. So we have an extra activation of like wanting to show up and shout and be seen, taking action based on your appearance and what you look like, and showing up in that way. So it can feel like, okay, I want to connect with like-minded people. You're getting some more recognition in that way. I'm not saying that there is a suitor. Yeah. Okay. Nice. I would say this: allow yourself to enjoy the whole process of dating this person. And there are so many people that will come to me for love readings and dating readings. And what is your definition of dating? That's a semi-rhetorical question. For me, dating is like dating with the intention of like being with this person and marrying them. Other than that, for me, it's just like a situationship. Like if I am already to the point where like I'm spending time with you and like we're going out to dinner, like I have already claimed you. I have already deemed you worthy of like somebody who's like I can see a future with. That we know pretty quickly, for us intuitive folks. Hi, Mirror Back, how are you? So paying attention to that. But I think for you, because of how many things, yeah, that's right, a forever ship, exactly. I think for where you're at and just knowing the circumstances of the last couple years of your life since we met. Hello, it's good to see you. I would just allow yourself to enjoy the process of actually getting to know this person, and maybe flipping like intuitively for you, like your definition of what dating means with this suitor. Like, how can we just enjoy each other's company? And maybe it doesn't, we know that we're seeing each other only if you prefer monogamy and like to have that, like that person as your own. A lot of Scorpio Venuses do, although that's like open to interpretation by the sum of all of your parts. But, where is it that you can lean into like allowing yourself to be treated appropriately and fairly? You have so much that's gone on with Nick that like you don't need somebody to add more stress to your plate unless it's just like normal relationship things that are happening. Like you need to be dealing with somebody that's like playing games or like doesn't know. Like I've had a couple people over the course of the last like couple months, I would say more accurately, like 2 months, that have been in similar circumstances, like not exact circumstances, but just have had like a lot of shit happen in their lives where it's like they were saying how they prefer a partner at this point that like has already been divorced. Maybe they have children from another relationship because of their life circumstances, where it's like somebody who's just kind of like fucked around and found out the first time and like learned the second way around, right? Or like they just went through, it doesn't mean that they had to be somebody that was like the person that was quote unquote wrong in the relationship, but like they're not starting like from a lack of like emotional maturity or awareness or an ability to like court you. Really finding out like who are the people that are able to like hold space in that way, and is he like living up, like is he stepping up to the plate? I don't know if baseball has anything to do with what you're like him at all, or them, I should say. So also planting that seed. Hi Danielle, how are you? Where are we also having some extra activation for you? Pluto. Yeah, Pluto's going to be retrograde through your 7th house as well. So thinking about like when it comes to the communities that you're surrounding yourself with, I'm good. Hi, Selena. Welcome. The people that you're surrounding yourself with, like taking a second look at your autonomy within the relationship is what I want to say. Like, do you feel cautiously optimistic? Like, is this going in the direction where like you share the same community spaces, places that you like to go? Or is it that you're from two completely different like hobbies and backgrounds? Your core values of this are the same for how you believe in raising children, or like, you know, how duties that you expect each other to do or for people to do in a long-term relationship. And then allow yourself to kind of be like, well, maybe it's really like, I don't like to play video games. Like, I don't care about video games. It's really so hard for me to like pay attention to video games. Manny, my fiance, loves video games. Like, that's his thing. He likes to he also streams on occasion. So he'll stream, he makes videos for YouTube for gaming. But like, if I were to sit down and play a game with him, like I've done it once or twice, but I would rather sit down and do a board game. He has his friends and his gaming friends and his friends in real life that also game with him. That's what he does while I'm streaming and doing, you know, working, quote unquote. And, you know, literally working and then doing human design stuff. So like that to me was like a good thing. There's so many women now that like shit on their partners who play video games, but like for me that was a benefit because I was like, hey, I'm a 1-3, like I need a lot of alone time, especially my fellow Scorpio moons, and having your sun sitting below the horizon in your body graph. I don't like them. I don't like to play them. I'm not going to force myself to play them, but it's nice because we have our own hobbies and then we come together. So I also say that to kind of support looking at that in terms of Pluto being in your 7th house right now, retrograde. You know, it's that ability for there to be like regeneration. Also can feel a little bit sexier, a little bit passionate for how it's aspecting some of your placements, in addition to your human design body graph. So paying attention to that. What was I also going to say? Yeah, because you're having like Taurus right now, at Taurus season, is your 10th house. You're not always thinking about like your reputation in that way. Like when it comes to relationship, I mean, yes, that can always be a thing, but it's like, does this person play out into my long-term plan? So the short answer, what I'll say is like focusing on allowing yourself to be courted. Like specifically the word courted is like, I think funny. And it's interesting because it's like, it also sounds like CORDED, like courted, like energetic cords. Courted, like COURTED, right? Like allowing yourself to be like, to actually truly date in the sense of like, do I like this person? Let it be a slow and steady wins the race. Like maybe it doesn't have to be too fast, too furious all of a sudden, but maybe it's like, okay, we are courting so that when that does happen, that can be like a little bit of an element of that. Yeah, I can do synastry readings. I'm actually just reading for Tina right now about, she was asking about relationships. So I'm talking about the transits for her. And where, in theory, yes, good synastry can lie. Thank you for saying that. Thank you. But yeah, Tina, like just, you don't need, if you already are going to that relationship and that person doesn't have their shit figured out and it's like, it's been a minute and like their knee-jerk reaction is like, what was them? Intuitively, it feels like that's what you had left prior. Whereas like where you're going for the future, where you're going now, yeah, also like healing your Chiron wounded healer Aries, like naturally retrograde. Yeah. That may be a little bit of like, there's healing and taking it slow right now. I know that like your ex is still like adjacent to your life or somewhat of a participant in some capacity. So it's interesting that like courted in that way can also maybe have some double entendre, double meaning. But I would also just kind of think about like, where can you have more fun? Remember that this is supposed to be fun. Like, yes, there can be challenging things. Yeah, that will never end. Yeah. I'm just going to pivot here. There can be challenging things in any relationship that are going to be happening. The beginning part, even in its funness, there may be harder conversations and boundary setting that needs to happen. But at the end of the day, like you should still be able to like hug each other, laugh. You know, it shouldn't be so much of this like struggle and lamenting and like, you know, dredging up. It can be passionate, right? But your Scorpio Venus ultimately needs that passion. But needing, I think with the sum of all of how your parts have been nurtured within the last couple years of your life, it's coming fully to being like, okay, ultimately, I know that I need someone who has their act together, who is able to help me when I need it, who is okay with like allowing me to be baby, right? As you were saying earlier in my lives, or my lives in general, but my lives today. allowing myself to be baby, right? And allowing yourself to be baby and like allowing somebody else to take care of you, I think is going to be like a major part of your healing. So I'm excited for you. So it's not that it's a bad time. I would just take it slower instead of maybe dating in a different way than you traditionally have. So I'm glad I pulled up your natal chart instead, because that helped me a little bit more to inform more accurately. Yeah. Listen, if it's gone fast at this point, like, don't beat yourself up. Like, don't feel like, there's any type of stress. You may be saying yikes in terms of like allowing somebody else to help you. But if somebody is genuinely offering their help, like allowing your nervous system to know that it is safe. Like if he says to you, or the suitor says to you, like, I'm going to pay this bill for you. And you're like, I don't, like, I'm not used to people coming through and paying bills for me. Then, just because you're not used to it, your nervous system's not used to it, doesn't mean that money has strings attached, right? So like money can be a big issue, especially, again, Taurus season ruled by Venus, values money. This is where we can see some of those things coming up simultaneously. So, but Dana, I'm going to be back on, will I be back on tomorrow? I don't think I'll be back on tomorrow. I'll be on YouTube on Saturday. Excuse me. And I'm going to end out tonight. My dad is with us right now. So I'm going to spend some time with him before he goes to sleep and do some more admin work. And Tina, is closing us out for the evening. So I will be back Saturday on YouTube live. Yeah, thank you. I appreciate you being here. It was so good to see all of you guys again. Yeah, the Saturdays have been nice. It's nice to kind of to tap in there, and it worked out for our schedule. So for the time being, before my Saturdays get busy with the summertime, I'll be doing that. So Tina, good luck with your suitor, right? Mirabak, it was so good to see you. Michaela, who else? Tina, thank you for your reading. Tara, Abrielle, Cynthia, Mégane, Arizona, Kourtney. Happy birthday, Kourtney. Thank you so much for pouring into me as I pour into you. This will go on YouTube. It's going to be processing now, be officially posted tomorrow. It gives me a little bit of a slow pace, but that way you guys can listen back to any of the words of encouragement and the reading that I gave to you this evening. So Deanna, thank you so much. Thank you guys. Have a beautiful rest of your Thursday. Tomorrow is Venus Day, Self-Love Day, so do something to show yourself some love, and I will leave you at that. But I'll see you guys later. Have a good night.